Hello, my name is Emma, and welcome to another Girl Sex 101 video. So if you don't know, my good friend, my pal, Emma from Drinking by My Shelf, also named Emma, started a book club called Girl Sex 101, where we read books about gender and sexuality and sex, and that are written or starring or have something to do with young people, and specifically people who identify as female. So it's really exciting and fun, and I mean, it's really interesting, and it's just a book club to examine how teen literature specifically portrays these issues. So the first book that we read was If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo, which is an Own Voices book by a trans woman about a trans girl called Amanda, and it follows Amanda after she's moved from Atlanta, where she was living with her mother, to the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, to live with her father after after a pretty intense incident where she was harassed and abused, and like a violent situation has happened due to the fact, or it's implied due to the fact, that she is trans. And so she moves to this town, and it's basically about her becoming more comfortable with herself, about her having more like I guess, quote unquote, very typical average teenage experience, and I want to put those into quotes because I'm not saying that like being trans isn't normal. It's just that, you know, society has very specific ideas about what is a normal teenage life and what isn't a normal teenage life, and of course those ideas are very harmful. But this book follows Amanda as she sort of makes friends, or she does make friends, and she meets a really nice, sweet boy, and she becomes closer with her father, and it's just kind of following her journey. I didn't love this book. I think it's a really powerful book, and I think it's a really important book. I think it's important because it showcases a trans girl living her life and living her, you know, her everyday existence, and flourishing and blossoming and kicking ass, and I think that's so important and wonderful, and, you know, shows a really beautiful and rich portrayal of a trans girl who is living her life and living a very hopeful, happy existence, which I think is so great. What I didn't like about this book was I just wasn't a huge fan of the writing style. I think it could have done with some more edits, and that is not to say that it is bad, it just wasn't my cup of tea. I am very specific about how YA is written, or how I enjoy reading YA, and it just wasn't a big fan of the writing style. I thought it was just kind of, at times, a little clunky, but I think that's something that Meredith Russo will get better at as she writes more books, because I believe this is her first book. But all in all, I think it's a really sweet book. I think that the relationships that are portrayed in this book are really great. It has amazing female friendship between Amanda and her friends. It has a really great sort of bonding experience that she has with her father and with her mother and with all of these people in her life. And I thought it was really endearing and a kind book, if you will. And yeah, it was lovely. And if you like books, kind of cute YA books, this is a very cute YA book, but it just happens to have a protagonist who's a trans girl. And I mean, that doesn't happen, obviously. It's on purpose, but it's so sweet and endearing, and I think that a lot of people would really enjoy this book, even more than I did. So that is my review of If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. And now to announce next month's book. Next month's book is going to be The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily M. Danforth, I believe. And this is a book about a young girl coming to terms with her sexuality in, I think, like, in the Midwest of America, I think I want to say. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it's like Montana, but it sounds really interesting, and I'm excited to read it, and I hope you guys read it with us. We're going to start on March 1st and be reading it throughout the month. So yeah, and if you like are reading it, you should definitely hit us up on Twitter or something. Be like, hey, I'm gonna read it with you, or this is what I'm feeling, and we would love to know about it. Also, go watch Emma's video if you haven't watched it already. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.